with obviously picking up X-Men and all, whether it's Alien, Predator, all the properties, there's a lot of possibilities, a lot of stuff that you could see on their streaming service. But John, there's the Hollywood Reporter article. Yeah. Tell me a little bit. What's inside of that article? What's it saying?
Well, just talking about what's going on there at Fox amongst the people who are working there, wondering about what's going to happen to their jobs, you know, the severance packages that have been announced, and also this idea, and this is the thing that really interested me about the article, this idea that no studio has bought another studio at this level and has a blueprint for what to do going forward, what jobs save, what jobs not to save, and also they're also trying to compete in the streaming thing. And Iger recently didn't release too many details about Disney Plus, so they're still working it out themselves. So everybody who's working there is really unsettled about what their job's going to be. A lot of them are already applying to other jobs, taking interviews. I have a couple of friends who work there, and one of my friends is an executive over there and on the TV side, and he was telling me how the fear is permeating
it's like Armageddon
the walls.
Over there, right? Yeah.
Basically, because people are starting to put things away and do whatever and plan ahead for this situation. But there's so much involved here because of how big the Fox studios are. Because also the TV channels can be moved into the stuff. There's so much that they've got to work out, and we probably won't know the full effects of this for 2 or 3 years at least.
Yeah, look, I'm on. To be honest, it's not going to be popular opinion. I'm on two minds with this thing. The first side of it is that on a business side, right? If Disney goes, they find the deal, they're successful, super successful, have been even more successful over the last couple of years for a reason, right? They look at all the properties that they've been able to buy, Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, whatever it is, and then now Fox, like you said, a studio. Like that's the kind of power they have. They can buy a studio.
Scary power.
Right. Now, the scary aspect of it is the other side that we'll get into, but the business side of it is if you can do it and it's legal and you can make it work and it can further your business and you're Bob Iger and you can make it work, you go for it.
Yeah.
Now, the flip side of that is that it's kind of like Pretty Woman. Remember the Pretty Woman, where Richard Gere's job is to buy up all these companies.
Right.
He's just to buy them all up, and it doesn't matter about who's in the way and who's getting hurt because it's about furthering your business. And he was a very successful businessman. Then he meets Julia Roberts, gets a
herpes,
but then gets a change of heart of gold, and goes on and then decides I'm not going to buy that company. I'm going to work with that person. Now, is Bob Iger going to meet Julia Roberts? I don't think so. Right. So it looks like there's going to be some job loss, and that sucks.
Yeah.
And it's a monopoly.
Here's the thing too: is yes, there are probably people searching for jobs now, but once Disney, the dust is settled, and Disney takes those properties and starts expanding upon those properties, a lot of those
new jobs
will come back. A lot of new jobs created.
Well, yeah, but what kind of jobs? Because I think it's just in general a big unknown shift in the industry, right? Because like you mentioned, it's like Roka mentioned, it's the first time they're actually buying a studio,
right?
And that's different, right? Than what the purchases they've done.
And will there be a lot of new jobs, or will it be so let's say Drina works. I buy this whole entire thing. Drina already works for me. You guys don't. You guys work for Fox, okay? So I'm like, all right, you know what?
You're pronouncing your name wrong. It's Sunbeam.
Right. So you lose all your Nuts and Sunbeam lose it. But Darina has a couple of projects already with me.
Right.
But now I'm like, you know what? I'm buying Fox. I'm going to cut Josh and Roka. He's got all these projects. You're getting these projects now.
Yeah.
As opposed to bring in 2 new people to do it. They're now your projects. Yeah. So now you run a division. If you want people to, you can have a couple people work under you, but I'm not going to hire someone at an executive level even more so now that I have her and I know she can handle it.
Well, they're actually bringing, in this case, they're bringing, I think they're keeping Emma Watts, who is the VP of Fox. Okay. And she actually, I've liked what she's done. Like she oversaw Logan, which is like my favorite superhero movie other than Dark Knight.
Right.
And absolutely.
And so she did the Planet of the Apes, which was super surprising.
So she's got a good resume.
Really good trilogy.
Why she is still working.
Right. So maybe creatively they're keeping people that are smart and they're doing good things, right?
Right.
But I feel crappy for the people that are losing.
Yes,
it's the little people. It's always the little people end up losing when these things happen, and it just sucks.
That happes, and it does. It's terrible. You don't want anyone to lose their jobs, but it's also when big business moves like that. And Mundy again is a friend of mine, and he fights the fights, and to him, he doesn't worry about the creative side of it. He's not looking at the business side of it. He's thinking about the people who are losing their jobs, and that Disney doesn't have to do this. That's the way that he's thinking. Now, But on the other side of things, to where Disney is now thinking, yeah, we got to do this because we're going to grow even more so. Now, the thing we talked about yesterday was that they're going to start doing R-rated movies. We don't know on what side, what division. Going back off of your point, right? Like, so maybe they start this rated R division, and now they got to build more jobs. Maybe now they don't have the capacity to say, okay, well, that's not your strength. You don't work on those types of movies like Logan.
They don't have departments that work on rated R.
Right. They don't do that yet. So
or they used to in the it was Miramax. Like in the 80s, and then Touchstone did Roger Rabbit and things like that.
All that stuff. But now, there's, like Makuga was saying, there's going to be more opportunities. There's going to be more jobs but that doesn't necessarily mean that those people from Fox are going to get them. That just means that opportunities will be available. So, yeah, it sucks. People are going to lose their jobs, and it's horrible. I see the argument for why maybe they think Disney shouldn't have done it, but then you got to look at it on the corporate side too, and it's a tough one.
This is the way capitalism is built.
Yes.
Man. I mean, if the business can be bought, and it's not like Fox with this viable franchise, or they wouldn't be getting bought right now if they had run the studio correctly and were making money. They wouldn't need to get bought. But Mark Ellis talked about this yesterday in Movie Talk. Fox has been showing cracks for quite some time now. Yeah. They were for sale for a reason, and Disney sweeps in, takes this deal. It may end up working positively for these people, maybe coming back. But you hear things like this: they're going to keep Fox as, in essence, a label, but it'll only do 4 films a year, where they used to do 12 to 14 films a year. That's in the article. So that cuts a lot of jobs out.
Say that again?
So they're going to keep Fox as a label for them. So it'll be Disney presents a Fox movie.
Right.
But they're only going to release 4 to 5 Fox films, where they used to use 12 to 14 theatrical films.
But that could change after year 1.
Yeah, possibly.
So are they keeping Fox Studio?
They're keeping Fox and Fox Searchlight. They're keeping them as a banner, but they're not
kind of like what Miramax, when they own Miramax.
Yeah.
It's the same type of thing. So,
this is a really dumb question, doesn't matter, but are we going to see 20th Century Fox before Lucasfilm?
That's been asked before. It's been asked. Probably not, because it doesn't fall in that division anymore. But yeah, that's been asked many times. That's what people want to see the fanfare.
Such a dumb thing, but it just be
no,
fun.
It's true. It's just to have that again. But what else? Anything else in that article that's in there?
Yeah,
because we have the question out there: is Disney trying to erase Fox? Right? And in a certain aspect, it's not a matter of they're trying to just take out Fox, but like you said, John, it was it's on sale. Yeah. They said, hey, we think we have the means to further this brand. We know we can afford it, so we're going to buy it out. Now, erase them? No, I don't think they're trying to erase them, because, like you said, they're going to have them as a separate brand. But Fox also wanted to get out of the business of making movies, obviously, because they're just going to start. They're going to keep on with news, and they're going to keep on with sports.
Yeah,
that's where the bread and butter is.
Well, I mean, Fox TV. I don't even know what that channel will now be, or when it's. But I don't think they'll change the name Fox from the TV channel.
Right.
And Fox Sports 1, Fox News, that kind of situation.
I mean, not just that one, all of them.
That situation is unchanged for the most part. You know what I mean? Because Disney doesn't really want their hands in sports.
They would have ABC for that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's weird. I understand the loss of jobs, and I understand this whole thing, but there is something to be said about what Disney has been able to do with their properties, right? And they take the Fox brand that has, cracks, like you said. They're going to build on that thing. Right. A lot of those Fox properties that we want to see a better movie from, or better things from.
Yeah, like Alien.
Correct. Yeah. Now you're going to get the better people doing it, at least I think, or some of the other people.
I
don't know if that's fair.
It depends, because if you're talking creative, I honestly, a lot of people, rightfully so, have complaints about Disney kind of making things a little bit safer. And a little bit more generic. So I'm curious as to what they're actually going to be.
And it's also about captains of ships too, because you can have an amazing crew on one ship, but the captain's just steering it the wrong direction. Then you can have an amazing captain with some pretty good crew, and Fox could have the best crew that you've ever seen, but you would know because the head did okay, did okay, but it kind of steered them in a direction. Ultimately, they needed the big ship's help, and Bob Iger is a fantastic captain, and he has shown hardly any cracks whatsoever, and he's making all the moves. And this is just another big move and a huge thing on his resume. Star Wars, these live action films, the streaming service, buying Fox. I mean, he's got to be again, as far as body of resume, and not as far as what you think ethically of the decision, but as far as you look at his resume as a businessman, he's got to be the best of all time. He's got to be the best executive of all time.
Well, if you got to look at the numbers, I mean, how many films that Disney puts out are in the top 10 money owners of the last few years? You've got to speak to that. And
that's just
Iger does
movies.
that. That's just the movies.
The streams, the park that he's going to be putting, how much money that the Disney parks make.
Yeah.
The guy.
Star Wars park
I just don't think they should be making that much money. Is all I'm saying.
I know. Well, but
it's dangerous.
It's too much money especially when you're firing people and people are losing their jobs. Like executives make a lot of money.
I agree with you.
Too much money.
I agree, but
there's a big discrepancy there that I just don't.
But what? And you're right. But the thing is, though, what do you tell the businessman? You're doing. You know what?
Cut your paycheck and give it to the crew that works in your movie.
That's two different things, though. That's two different things as far as making the big deals, though, right? Like as far as taking out your money and your salary, but it's like when the businessman is saying, "Well, I've got all these deals. I have a potential to do all these other deals." Well, don't do that because it's not nice. That's just not how business works. You know, it's like, but when it comes to cutting salary and spreading the wealth, that's another conversation.
Yeah. They're looking at 4,000 layoffs.
That's
but
tough.
Rich Greenfield, who is a Disney skeptic, it's quoted in the article, is looking 5,000 to 10,000 layoffs over time because of this situation.
It's a lot of jobs.
But Makuga might be right, and you too. This idea that this sucks for now, but then eventually they'll have to put these things in motion.
But doesn't mean doesn't mean those 5,000 to 10,000 people are going to get those jobs.
It doesn't. You're right. You're right about that. And I think Dorina makes a great point because we see this all the time with these companies that file for bankruptcy or go under.
Yeah.
Their executives still pay themselves out. We saw that recently a couple of years ago with that buyout that happened. A lot of these executives had these windfalls of bonuses that they shouldn't have gotten. Meanwhile, all these people getting fired and get no severances or
it's
anything.
Like Clark Griswold in
Jelly of the Month Club and shit.
Right. Yeah, it's true. No, it sucks, man. So I see both sides. I mean, I really do, and I completely understand. Like, and I'll tell you right now, I'd be singing a different tune if I was one of those 5,000-10,000 people.
Right.
You know, I don't think I'd ever see a Disney film ever again.
Right.
Which would be hard because now every movie is going to be a Disney movie.
Right. I mean, that's the thing is that it's legal.
Yeah,
it's legal. They're not doing anything illegal. That's the thing.
It is a hungry hippos situation, unfortunately.
But not as fun.
No.
Well, to
So
Disney, it is.
It is fun.
Well, the thing when you're playing it is. Yeah. So to Disney, they're eating everything up, so they're having a blast.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm saying they have enough marbles.
Yeah, I know.
You're talking about the sports things. They have to sell the 22 sports regional networks off within 90 days of the purchase, of the final purchase.
Wow.
So who knows where that's going to go? Disney has to sell that's part of the deal. And I don't think they're touching Fox News. I think Murdoch made real clear that Fox News was untouchable.
Yeah, right. Well, but isn't I mean, not that they would sell it anyway, but isn't he pretty hardcore Republican?
He's on Trump's business panel. Yeah, he's on part of that whole
so it's not like a left.
It all connects.
I saw some people screaming, "Oh, see, it's the left buying the right," and that's not because Iger's pretty right
Those
wing.
are ignorant people, and they should read things.
Guys. Also remember that a lot of rich people are on the right.
You don't know nothing, Jack.
Yeah.
All right.
You better listen, Jack.
Sorry. Okay, let's move on. So what I'd like to do is, for you guys out there watching right now, if you have a question for myself or Roka or Sunbeam or Nuts, just hashtag Collider Live.